latest news and severe weather coverage. This is Fox 11 News at 5.
It's our job to kind of walk in and stay neutral, and that does create some awkwardness.
Educators say they care about their students, especially when those children are in difficult family situations. And now some of the teachers and even principals say they're being dragged into the middle of custody battles.
Yeah, we begin this half hour with Fox 11's Kelly Schlicht taking a look at one area school district and how the situation could affect classrooms.
But I feel bad that we have to get pulled in. It's just not fair. It's not fair to the whole situation.
Educators like Ryan Wellnetz at Swamico Elementary have been getting crash courses in how to deal with the courts.
I got subpoenaed this year for a family court issue with custody involved. It's a little strange because we're really here to work with the kids, and so when the family issues come about, it puts you in an awkward position.
Lineville Intermediate School Principal Phil Hart says while he hasn't personally been subpoenaed, one of his counselors and a few of his teachers have.
I would say it is growing. It's becoming a bigger problem as the years go on.
These are things that we didn't see much when I first started in education. I'd say over the past 5 years, custody issues have become a little bit more elevated than we've seen in the past, and schools becoming more involved than ever.
Many times I think what they're attempting to use the information for is to show whether in the current custody situation is Johnny or Sally doing well in school or doing poorly in school, depending on which way they're arguing. Do they have emotional issues that they brought up in the school setting? Have they been acting out behaviors and things of that nature? So that's a lot of times they're attempting to show how the current custody arrangement is or isn't of benefit to the student in this school setting.
Attorney Bob Burns says a teacher being called to testify in a custody battle creates problems for children, and not just those involved in the court case. Teachers and principals agree.
If they're not with those kids aren't getting that first instruction from the teacher that has, you know, the true skills and the relationships and stuff like that. So it can be a little bit difficult.
Administrators say it's not just the time spent out of the classroom. If teachers are called to testify, there's also hours of preparation if they're subpoenaed.
Oftentimes that comes with a request for records or other information, and sorting out what we can share, what we can't share.
Even if educators are called to court, they may not testify. Wellnetz says he's now been called for a second hearing in the case he was originally subpoenaed for.
I didn't have to testify the first time, but again, sitting in court and hearing those situations that are coming up between these parents that are really private to them, and us having to be part of that conversation or just sit there and listen to it, it's very awkward.
Educators say hearing those details can make it difficult to stay neutral. While schools say subpoenas seem like an unavoidable inconvenience, lawyers say districts can work with the family's attorneys to bypass court.
I think one thing that could be helpful would be to have more advanced notice when the parties are contemplating subpoenaing school personnel, because many times there can be something worked out with regard to getting an appropriate authorization to exchange the information.
Principals say their top priority during custody cases remains keeping the school a sanctuary during a difficult time in a child's life. Kelly Schlicht, Fox 11 News.
Other area school districts, Kelly says, say that while educators are occasionally subpoenaed, they do not believe in their case that that's on the rise. And in fact, most districts do not keep statistics even on how often their staff faces a subpoena.